And we are live. FSB Racing Pro Cup Series. Johnson Truck Lines proudly sponsors a Pro Cup Series here every Wednesday night. And as we wind up another great season here at FSB, we do want to always remember our sponsors and everyone who works behind the scenes to make this happen. And certainly, we appreciate Johnson Truck Lines for sponsoring the Pro Cup and all the other sponsors for all the other series. And we're here at Kansas tonight. And let's take a look at the standings here as we were in happy hour. Quick look at the qualifying shows Mark DeSenza qualified on the pole, Robert Bokum outside pole, Derby Don third place there. Third spot, and Jeff Hale takes the fourth position. So let's take a quick look here at our standings in the Pro Cup division. And we see that Matt Watkins, again, having just a season to end all seasons. 8 poles, 9 wins. 33-point lead here with just a couple of races left. So unless Matt decides not to show up for some unknown reason or for some tragic reason, hopefully nothing bad happens, and he'll be our champion here in the Pro Cup. But the battle, as you can see, is third, fourth, Derby Don and Guy Petra, just a point separating them for that third position in points. Robert Bokum with a 10-point lead. And then it gets kind of tight again as Steve Weber and Mark DeSenza are only a point apart. So still some racing to be done here in the Pro Cup as we're here at Kansas. And as I said just a little bit there, Mark DeSenza is our pole sitter. Let's take a look at this track here as guys finish up happy hour. Here we see 16 of Dan Francisconi heading down pit lane, 45 miles an hour here at Kansas. There we see the 5 of Sean Johnson. 53 T.G. Reese working a lap here at Kansas. Kind of a 1.5. It's a 1.5 mile oval. It's D-shaped. So it's pretty quick. You'll see some high speeds here as you see Robert Bokum here going into the turn there at about a little hitting over 180 as he gets in, and we'll watch him here as he accelerates down the backstretch. Backstretch, kind of a traditional looking backstretch. Front stretch is kind of a giant curve, as you'll see him as he comes out and ducks into the pits actually here. And nice job actually, as you see. That's the way you get in and out of the pits here, and that could play a part here. A little shorter field than we're accustomed to seeing, and that tends to lead to green flag racing. So as you can see, the timer has reached 0. So we're going to get ready to enjoy some green flag racing here at Kansas. Mark DeSenza, our pole sitter, and Matt Watkins, our points leader. Elected not to qualify, so he'll start toward the rear of the field.
Driver,
so he'll find his way through some traffic, let's see, and we'll watch his progress. Team Bokum, Mark DeSenza and Robert Bokum take the front row. There we see the 49 of Derby Don and his row mate, the 29 of Jeff Hale. And right behind them, there we see Ryan Tracy in the 22. And right beside Ryan, the 151 of Guy Petra. Next row, 53 of T.G. Reese, 99 of Pops Markison. And they received a 42 of Scott Tracy. And as we go down a little further, 303 of Ken Ron and teammate Starting next to him, 5 cars, Sean Johnson.
Your engines.
And it looks like someone has possibly missed a start here. Let's see, an empty space next to Scott. And we'll have to see how that works out. And then there we see Matt Watkins and Steve Weber and Dan Francisconi. T-Roy bringing up a shotgun on the field. Here we see our pace car. And there we see our pole sitter, Mark DeSenza, in the 6 car there. So we got 107 laps tonight here. It's a tough little track. Tires wear. So this is a Robert Bokum type track where you manage your tires to have something at the end of these runs. If it goes green, you want to have that, and Robert's usually really good at having it. And we'll see if some guys really zoom out and some guys kind of play the tire game. And so we'll see that as we get ready for a green flag, and Mark DeSenza leads us down, and we're green at Kansas. And no passing to the backstretch rule here at FSB Racing. So they'll hold their positions here, and now as we get into the backstretch, they can start blending if that's what they want to do and start racing. And we see that everyone's holding their position so far. Mark's pulled out to a slight lead over Robert Bokum, Derby Don, and Guy Petra. Second, third, and fourth. And there we see a little side-by-side racing there with the 5 of Sean Johnson and 99 Derby Don. And a little more side-by-side racing as Scott Tracy and Ken Ron battle. And Matt Watkins is the interested observer of this battle. Is he going with Scott? Is he going with Ken? Let's see what Matt decides to do. Looks like he's chosen outside. No, now he goes inside. Now he gets down on the apron, which is a clean move here. You just got to remember your spotter sometimes won't give you any feedback when you're below that white line. And so you got to keep your head on a swivel so you don't bump into someone. But Matt Watkins makes a nice move, gets to the inside of Scott, and he'll make the pass, and T-Roy trying to go with him. And 83 is Steve Weber trying to join the party, and so is Dan. As we get back to the front, we see a nice little cushion there for Mark DeSenza. Now Derby Don has taken over the second spot, and Guy Petra is now third. And I think this is Robert Bokum doing his tires immediately. And like I said before, he says you got to commit to it from the beginning. And if he said, you know what, I think this is going to go green from the beginning of this race, he's conserving his tires right now. He's keeping his temperatures around 200 every lap. He's not letting them blow up, and he knows he's going to have some for these guys come end of run. But Derby and Guy Petra are able to pull away from the rest of the pack now. And there we see the gap next to Robert Bokum and Jeff Hale. They're right on Robert's tail. So again, Robert probably on a tire saving strategy here. So Jeff probably will be able to get by him. You can see Jeff really all over the back of him, which can sometimes make you uncomfortable, can sometimes get the back end a little happy and want to get loose, and can also cause the guy behind you to push up a little. But Jeff makes a nice clean pass and a strong pass by Robert Bokum to take the position. And I think Robert's not worried about who's going by him right now. He's got his own agenda, and he's going to stick to it. And that's why he's the champion that he is. As we see a little further back from Robert, his teammate Sean Johnson, T.G. Reese behind Sean, and another teammate of Robert Bokum's, 303 of Ken Ron, looking to go to the inside of TG and join his teammate, and he's able to do it. And Ryan now trying to join that move, but TG keeps the hammer down and keeps that position. And there we see Matt Watkins trying to join this group, and T-Roy Pops and Scott Tracy. And Steve Webb bringing up this rear pack, and then bringing up the rear of the train, trying to catch up to that rear pack and not too far off. So there's our leader, Mark DeSenza. Has a nice, and Derby gets loose. No contact so far, no contact so far, no contact so far. There we see TG going for a ride in the grass, and he goes up and hits the wall hard. Still no other contact that I can see. Caution is out, caution is out. So Mark will take the caution. Bad break for Derby. Looks like he just broke loose. I just think Derby broke loose there, folks, which is crazy. Let's see on the replay here at lap 8, and there we see Derby Don and Derby Don and Guy Petra. Derby up just a little high there as they get down the back stretch, but nothing crazy. He's looking okay here. Enters in the turn, and then as we exit, he just it looks like just the back end just kind of crept around on him. He just did a 1-360, and then there goes TG for a big ride. And unfortunately for TG, not the pleasant ending that Derby Don experienced, and we'll see it from TG's perspective. You can see the wreck happening, and a tap from the 22 car sends TG for the ride, actually, and no one else hit. Oh, and Pops. Oh, we got to take a look at that from Pops' perspective, folks. Wow, I don't know how Pops got by that without major contact. So let's ride with Pops. Yeah, that happened fast. Let's take a look again. Let's take a look a little further back too. So here's Pops. You can see the trouble, the smoke, and then all of a sudden here comes TG. Pops doing some great driving there. Just a tremendous job by Pops Marguson, and that's why it's called Pro Cup, folks. That's why it's called Pro Cup. So as you can see, we're still under caution, and we'll recap this pit stop situation here. And there we see our leader, Mark DeSenza. And there we see on lap 10, he brought the field down. There's Guy Petra and Jeff Hale coming into the pits. And there we see Derby Don limping his ride in as well. Derby, no contact, but tires, I'm sure, worse for wear. But no harm, no foul for Derby as far as clean body and still going to be racy. But we can see that the field leaves them behind, and Mark does win the battle off of pit road there. We can see the lights still on the pace car, so let's quickly recap here. 6 Mark DeSenza is in the lead here at lap 11. 29 Jeff Hale, 151 of Guy Petra in the top 3 there. And the 22 of Ryan Tracy bringing up 4th, and then 5th is the number 5 for 5th, Sean Johnson. Fast laps so far. 303 Ken Ron is holding the fast lap. 31009. So they're not even breaking into the 30s, and we saw plenty of 30s in practice. So you can see the pace not as fast as practice speeds. Guys being careful here early on. We see lights off on the pace car. We'll check that fast lap speed from time to time during the race to see if those lap times get faster. We're going to go green here. We're on lap 12. We'll go green as they hit lap 13. Everyone came in for fuel and tires, so everyone should be good to go. Single file. No one has lost a lap. We see that. Actually, we do see the 53 TG Reese did go a lap down, and we don't know if he'll be able to join at the top here, or if he has enough damage that he knows that that's not a good idea, or starting on the back of the field. But of course, that's the way TG would be. If his car's not damaged, he's not going to mix it up with the front runners. And we're back to green. Mark DeSenza taking the green flag. Jeff Hale right on his back bumper. So Mark loses any teammates here at the front. He's on his own. Jeff Hale, I know, wants to lead Pro Cup race. Jeff hasn't ran many Pro Cup races this season, so it's he's looking for a win and a win only here. Points mean nothing to Jeff, so I know he wants that win. But Mark does have something to say about that, as he does what he did last time. He rockets away. Jeff running down to chase him down here. And 151, a Guy Petra hasn't left the back bumper of Jeff Hale since we just restarted. So Guy looking a little racy himself here early on. And as we go back to our fourth place runner here, Sean Johnson, we see Sean getting a little high there. Ryan Tracy gets a good run. But right now, Sean holding that position, but Ryan gets a great run. Look like Sean maybe got just a tick loose as we saw TG there down on the apron. I don't know if he's rejoining the race or if he's got further issues. We'll keep an eye on that. But we see Sean doing a great job of holding off Ryan, and now he's pulled away from him, and now teammate Ken Ron, teammate of Sean Johnson, Ken Ron makes a nice move onto the inside of Ryan Tracy. Ryan trying to get back underneath him, trying to get Ken loose. And so far, Ken has been able to hold him off. Ryan elects to get behind him, not go side by side. So nice move, nice pass by Ken Ron. Very powerful move. Got right underneath him and then slid up in front of him, and that's the way you got to make a move here at Kansas. So Ken doing what he needs to do as we go back up a little further to the front. Now Guy Petra has been able to get around Jeff Hale. Sean Johnson now gathered it back after that slight bobble, and he's closing in on the second and third place cars. And we see Mark DeSenza just quickly off in the distance. But right now the battle's been second and third and fourth here. Pretty nice looking battle. Jeff lost it to Guy, and it looks like Jeff might want it back. See if Guy has something to say about that, or if he's going to play the early on in the race, I'm not going to fight a position mindset. Some of these guys here at the front, Guy and Jeff and Sean, maybe not so much Sean, but especially Guy and Jeff, they haven't led a lot of laps this season, so they can see the front runner, and Jeff makes a nice move on the inside, and he should be able to take the position back, and he does. So maybe Jeff's car's coming into him, and he's picking the pace back up. We see Mark DeSenza there. Still in the lead, and still has a nice little lead. Nothing in danger right now, as we see a glimpse of him there at the bottom of the screen. There we see the 29 Jeff Hale now separating himself or trying to at least, from the 151, who he just had a nice battle with, a nice pass on. And there we see Sean slowly trying to reel Guy in. Kenron and Ryan Tracy right behind Sean. A little further back there we see Derby Don climbing back up the ranks. Derby got a little loose there, spun out, brought out our first caution. And Derby slowly making his way back toward the front. So nice job by Derby Don. No surprise. And there we see the 17 of T-Roy right behind him. And the 42 of Scott Tracy right behind T-Roy. And for a little further back in the field, 10th place Steve Weber. And, right outside the top 10, there we see the 99 of Pops Marguson. And 15 of Matt Watkins up to 11th. Robert Bokum, who looked like he stayed out when the leaders pitted, led a lap and then he pitted. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I have to think it was. Maybe he wanted to get that bonus point. So Robert Bokum doing what he needs to do, grabs a quick bonus point early on. And there we see some smoke there right in front of Den, and we see Derby Don into the wall. So, yikes. I think a second incident for Derby Don, and I think he disconnected as... Oh, man. What a bad break for Derby Don. Yeah, and you can see the back end came out on him. He looked like he saved it, but then he lost it again and banging into the wall. And with these original tracks, they do tend to bring out the cautions, and unfortunately we see the pace car is out, and we know that Derby has brought out 2 cautions. Oh man, sorry Derby, that's a bad break, buddy. But Derby Don will be out of the race. And as we look in, we see that when we're on lap 23, I expect we will see pit stops. Went about I think we went green at lap 13, lap 23, so about 10 laps. But that's enough here at Kansas to wear the tires and get 4 freshies. And there we see Mark DeCenza leading down, Jeff Hale in second. Jeff really pushing that speed limit. Be careful, Jeff. Not worth a black flag at lap 23, buddy. And him and Mark go side by side down pit lane. Of course, Mark, our pole sitter, is going to have the very end pit stall. So Jeff will be peeling off before Mark, and we see Jeff doing that. We see Guy Petra right behind him. We see Ryan Tracy right behind him. And there we see Robert Bokum sneaking in, but a little further back than he'd like to be right now on this caution. Left side's... right side's done, left side's going on for Robert Bokum, but we see the rest of the gang peeling out, and Mark DeCenza, of course, with the benefit of that first pit stall, covers the field as they come out. That's just a bad break for Derby. We talked about his point battle, just a point in front of Guy Petra. That's going to take a big hit here tonight, and feel for you, Derb. And there we see he's a lap down. Doesn't show Derby out of the race though right now, so have to check on that. I see the 53 TG Reese, who got caught up in that first caution. Got a little bump from behind, went through the grass, and then slid up into the outside wall pretty hard, and I'm sure took some damage. He's in the pits, topping up. Going back to the front there, we see the lights are still on the pace car. Mark DeCenza is our leader since really the green flag has flown, and he continues to lead. And 29 Jeff Hale continues to be in second, dogging him there in second. Mark getting some great restarts right now, so he's been able to really pull away and cover any advance early on. And Mark's philosophy seems to be want to pull away, get a little gap, and then maintain that gap. And he's done a great job of it 25 laps into the race. Let's see if he can do it for another 75 plus. As we have 75, 82 laps remaining still. Maybe we've gone a third of a way in a fuel run so far. So we really haven't seen a lot of green flag racing yet. A couple of cautions here slowed the field down. Lights are out on the pace car now, though, so we'll be going back to green flag next lap. As we scroll through the order, there we see Sean Johnson there, and Ryan Tracy right behind him. Guy Petra there in third, right ahead of Sean. Ken Ron. A little further back, there we see Robert Bokum, Matt Watkins. The two heavy hitters are nose to tail here. So we'll see Matt Watkins making steady progress to the front, and that's what he likes to see, and I'm sure he's feeling good about himself. Car's clean, no incidents that I can see of, no scrapes or booms or bangs. There we see Den and Scott Tracy, Den Pops, and there we see TG speeding back up to catch the field. Checking lead lap and retirees, we see that we have 13 cars on the lead lap. Pops is our last guy. TG still running. I don't believe, of course, Derby's out of the race in 15th, but TG still running. So only one car lap down here as we go back to green flag racing. Mark DeSenza leads the pack, and there we see there we see a little side by side with TG, but with the damage, I'm sure these guys will have no issues getting around TG. Jeff trying to stick with Mark this time and doing a much better job. As you can see, he's really closed up now on his back bumper. So Jeff saying, I want to lead some laps, Mark, and for the first time of the race, someone has gotten around Mark DeSenza and Jeff Hale with a nice move. Mark not really fighting it so early on in this run, but Jeff doing a nice move. Mark right on his back bumper still, though. As we get back to the line, we'll see Jeff will be our first official green flag leader besides Mark DeSenza. And there we see a tight race. Behind the leaders, we see Mark there not letting Jeff get away by any means, and he makes another nice move, closing up that gap right on the back bumper. Got slightly out of shape there, though, so see how bad he wants to lead laps here. But Jeff continues to lead. Guy Petra continues to hold the third position. Sean Johnson fourth, Ryan Tracy fifth, Ken Ron sixth, battling side by side there with TG, who's the laps down. Matt Watkins, and there's T-Roy, but who I don't see is Robert Bokum, who has lost some ground here, and he's kind of in no man's land between ahead of him, Matt Watkins and T-Roy. And then there we see Robert Bokum. So Robert, again, playing his tire strategy, just hoping for a green flag run. And hopefully, Robert, you get it. And I want to see that strategy play out. There we see Steve Webber behind Robert Bokum. Dan Francisconi right behind Steve Webb. Scott Tracy. And last car in the lead lap, there's Pops Marguson. Keeping pace there, and back to the lead here. We still see that Mark DeSenza has not left. And Mark got a little loose there, and he's going to stack the field as he had to lock up the brakes. Everyone avoided him, which is a miracle. That's a rear end asking to happen. But Mark's going to lose several positions, and he gets loose again. And so does TG, and TG's into the wall once, twice, and around he goes. And hopefully no one gets collected here. No. Woo! Wow, that was that was a wild and woolly one. Jeff Hale. Bringing him down to the caution. So, Mark DeSenza goes on a wild ride, causing TG to get a little upset himself, and unfortunately for TG, was not able to save it, and he bounced into the wall once, came off, and then came back twice and hit the wall again, and brought out another caution. So another chance at a green flag run for Robert Bokum out the window for him. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. But you can see the damage to the TG, severe damage to TG's car. Not going to be good there for you, buddy. We see leaders on pit lane. Sean Johnson, there's our new leader, Jeff Hale. He'll bring them down. Obviously, Mark DeSenza now, who lost a few positions, will still be pitting with that preferred number 1 stall. So as he goes by, we're going to keep an eye on him. We know Jeff is just off screen here. But Jeff will be completing his service first, so we'll see how beneficial that first stall is for Mark DeSenza. If he can get back to, let's say, the 2nd position, we'll see. Jeff leaves, and 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and then we see Mark going out about 7th, so not a help yet for Mark. Mark didn't hit anything, so I don't believe any damage for Mark. Definitely needs a new set of tires. Locked him down twice. Second time wobbled a little more and kind of right in the path of some other cars, including TG Reese, who I looked like took some evasive action. But in doing so, the car got loose on him and came up and hit the outside wall a couple of times and brought out our caution as we see him circling around here at 45, 55 miles an hour, most likely. Our leader is 29, Jeff Hale. We'll bring that up here as Steve Weber makes a pit stop. 5 is Sean Johnson 2nd, 22 of Ryan Tracy 3rd, 151 of Guy Petra 4th, and rounding out the top 5, Ken Ron in the 5th position. There we see Ken is now Ken is still the fast lap, and he's the only one to crack the 31s. So like I said, in practice there's probably 7, 8, 9 guys under the 31 number. Here we only see Ken Ron in the 30s. So Kenny Ron running fast laps, and he's in the 5th position. So looking good. Lights are still on the pace car. Jeff Hale still our leader. Sean Johnson 2nd. Matt Watkins now, though, up to 6th place. Matt has made steady progression. Every time there's a caution and then we get the restart, it seems like Matt has picked up like 2 or 3 positions every time, and he's gone from about 14th to now 6th. So Matt doing what he needs to do. You can see the pace car. You can see that the lights are out, and you can see that he wants to grab another win here in Pro Cup and really show who the boss is. Jeff will lead us to our green. Mark DeSenza a little ways back, right behind Matt Watkins, but in front of boss Robert Bokum. Let's see, does Mark keep his focus here? I'm sure he's not happy with what happened there, that he got loose a couple times there, and I'm sure he wants to get back to the front as the pole sitter, and was really the dominant car for the first 25 laps of the race, maybe even a little longer. We see that the lights are out, pace car is off. Restart lap 38 of 107. Jeff Hale will lead us down. Green, green, green. New cast of characters now. Let's see if Sean and Ryan can give a chase to Jeff. As they come out onto the backstretch, the race will begin. And Sean wastes no time. He's taking a look on the inside. A little too far back to make a move, but he's showing Sean showing Jeff there that he had thoughts about it. There we see Ken Ron looking to go to the inside of Guy Petra, and let's see if he can make it stick. So early on racing, and Ken Ron, who we just talked about, has the fastest lap of the race of anyone, showing why he has the fastest lap of the race. He gets by Guy Petra and keeps moving on, and there we see our top three. On the left, Jeff Hale, in the center there in the white car, the 5 of Sean Johnson, and the third in that trio is the 22 of Ryan Tracy. Both, all three of these guys are running a great race so far. They've been up at the front since the green flag, and they stayed out of trouble. And they're doing what they need to do. And that's how you win a Pro Cup race, too. You hang around at the front. You stay clean. You don't get involved in any incidents. You have good, clean pit stops. And then when there's 10 to go, you're in a position where maybe if things go your way, you can get a win. And you can see that Ryan is tight on Sean, and Jeff just a couple car lengths there lead. And we see Ken now has really got a fast car tonight. Fast lap of the race, and he has left behind the... Oh, and there goes Jeff. Jeff spins out. Let's see if we... have a caution come out here. Didn't look like anyone touched him there. Jeff spun with the lead. Caution is out. So, guess you can say that's a break for Jeff. They won't lose any lap, but let's see what happened. And it looked to me, as we just caught it as he was spinning, that he just got loose, and that's what this track does at Kansas. Kind of lulls you to sleep, and then all of a sudden it slaps you in the face when you doze off. And let's see what happened. Jeff getting into the turn here, looking at everything looks okay, but then you see the back end just comes around, almost identical looking spin to Derby Don's earlier on. He gets in the grass, keeps it okay, no contact with anyone, no damage. So Jeff will be able to continue, and no harm, no foul. There we see as we go back live, he's in the pits getting his tires taken off. And those tires are spent from the spin. But he'll take his time. let's see if he can, as I just said with now Mark DeCenza, and same thing I'll put forward now with Jeff Hale. Will he be able to get back his focus after something that, I'm sure he's extremely disappointed to spin with the lead. It's happened to the best of us, and it's not something that he wanted to do for sure. As you see some guys coming in this lap. I think some guys came in the lap before. We'll see how all this sorts out as we hit lap 43, or excuse me, lap 44 of 107, so not quite toward the halfway point. Looks like Guy Petra is going to be our new leader, or our current leader under caution is Guy Petra. 42 of Scott Tracy is now our second place runner, and Ryan Tracy right behind him. So the Tracys have starting to crowd at the front. 5 is Sean Johnson fourth, 3 of 3 Ken Ron fifth. Looks like Kendo did go into the pits, so we're going to let this scroll around and see how this sorts out. I think I saw Ken going into the pits this lap, so I'm sure Ken will fall further back. Let's check, see how many cars we got on the lead lap. We have 13 cars on the lead lap. TG is our only car, and there's Derby Don retired in 15th. 29 of Jeff Hale, who was our leader, is now our caboose of the lead lap cars. So we'll see. Again, we were following the 6 cars' progress. You can see Mark is up to 7th place. As we see these guys sort themselves out here. We'll see, the running order reset. We see now the 6 car actually up to 5th place. So quick recovery for Mark DeCenza, doing what he needs to do. Good job, Mark. I like seeing that. And there we see the 29 of Jeff Hale now is 12th. So we shall see. Can the 29 pull a 6? Will he get some cautions? That I'm sure that caution helped Mark. And every time he can use that number 1 pit stall under caution, it should benefit him in theory. I'm not saying it will, but definitely not going to hurt him by any means. So Guy Petra will be our new leader and take us to next green flag here. Some new faces here at the front. Guy Petra, our leader. Scott Tracy, Ryan Tracy, our second and third place runners. So we'll see. Again, as I said, these guys not a lot of laps led this season. So this is an opportunity that I'm sure they don't want to pass up. They want to lead laps. They want to get their car out front, and I don't blame them. I would be thinking the same thing. So here we go. Guy Petra, green, green, green. Coming into 1 and 2 here. As we get to the backstretch, the race can begin. We see the Tracys, Scott in the 42, Ryan in the 22, and Sean Johnson, top 4. And there we see our 5th place runner, our leader for much of the early part of the race, and our pole sitter, Mark DeCenza, in the 6 car. He's coming up strong. He's looking good. We see the 42 got a little high there, and the 22 and the 5 were able to get around him, and might be seeing a challenge for the lead. We might even see 3 wide. Almost thought I was going to see 3 wide there for a second. We see Guy continues to lead, but now, and Ryan gets a little loose and hard into the wall and clips Robert Bokum, and we have carnage. Ken Ron involved in that, Steve Weber involved in that. That's a shame. Ryan got a little loose. There we see Steve Webb trying to get the car righted again. And yeah, that's a shame. We see there, as we look back on it now, folks, we see that Scott got a little high there, so the 22 and the 5 got around him, and everything's good. We see the 22 actually got a great run on Guy, but elected not to press the issue, which led Sean to get into the inside of him, and the car just broke loose from him on the high side, and Robert got into him, and unfortunately, as Robert got into him there, we see that just a little. Robert had the wheel cut hard. You can tell because with the contact, it really shot him down the track. We can see Ryan spinning and wrecking still on the high side, but right in front of Steve Weber, who had hard contact and then a little bump, just a little nudge to Kenron, maybe not too much there. Not too much there. But let's see if we can. And we see Steve spinning down into the grass. So maybe not a whole heck of a lot of damage to Webb either. But big wreck there on lap 49 or 48, excuse me. And yeah, there was some carnage there. And Robert Bokum might be a little worse for wear there, as is the 22 car, I'm sure. And there we see Ryan finishing his stop, and there we see Robert Bokum as well. Yeah, that's a common theme tonight, as we see guys breaking loose. I know their setup is extremely loose. Pro Cup setups are notoriously loose setups that are usually come in as the run wears on. We just haven't got an opportunity to get to a point where that happens. About 10 laps, 12 laps, and then boom, caution. 5 laps, 6 laps, boom, caution. So haven't really sorted ourselves out yet as we hit lap 50. So still not quite halfway. So still plenty of time in the race. Don't know the status of Robert's car, but again, if Robert's doesn't have a lot of damage and is clean. I know Ryan's got some damage, so I don't know. Hold out as much hope for him as I do for Robert there. But there's plenty of laps for Robert to get back to the front, certainly. So, and if anyone can do it, it would be him. So we'll see. Ryan has managed to stay on the lead lap there, so good job there. We shall see how that goes for those guys back in the front. There we see the 29 of Jeff Hale. And we'll bring this back up, and we just talked about Jeff, and we see he's up to 7th. The 6 of Mark Descend's up to 3rd. So both guys who led early and who both had a little trouble have battled back valiantly, and both in the top 10. Mark in the top 5. In fact, in the top 3. And Jeff in 7th, looking to knock on those doors there. And get back to the front and lead some more laps. We see the lights on the pace car are out. Guy Petra will lead us down. The 5 of Sean Johnson 2nd. 6 of Mark Descend's 3rd. So Guy had Ryan had a good run on him. And it looked like Ryan might have lifted there, stayed behind Guy. Didn't press the issue, but it caused Sean to get onto the inside of him. And in doing so, Ryan was forced to take into the high side. And car broke loose on him, and that brought out our our most recent caution, but we're back to green flag racing. Guy Petra leading them down. Sean Johnson second, Mark DeSenza third, Matt Watkins slowly gaining ground. He's up to fourth. And we know Sean's fast, and we know he was pressing the issue right as that caution came out. And we see he's immediately doing that again. And I know Sean's had a lot of bad luck to this season. He's wrecked a few cars this season, and he's had some bad luck this season. But he led that lap, and he's battling side by side with Guy Petra. But now Sean does take the position as they get into turn one. So nice job by Sean. We have a new leader, Sean Johnson, in the 5 car. Guy Petra falls back to second. Mark DeSenza third. Matt Watkins fourth, and Scott Tracy fifth. We see some smoke there. I don't see any caution. I don't see any cars limping around. So we stay green. And there we see some real tight race in there. 42, 17, and 29. There we see Jeff Hale looking to make his way back to the front. We see Robert Bokum making a move as well on the 99 of Pops Marguson. And Robert will take that position. And now he sets his sights on hooking up with his teammate, the 303 of Ken Ron. Both Ken and Robert had good cars early on. They were working their way to the front. Robert keeps trying to, I think, work a tire strategy, thinking there's got to be a green flag run in here somewhere. And he's been disappointed. And then, of course, he had the incident there, caught up in the Ryan Tracy incident. And so now he's working his way back. And we see him doing a nice job there. But we can also see the 29 of Jeff Hale all over the 303 of Ken Ron. So some good battles here in the middle of the field. 42 of Scott Tracy right ahead of him. Now Ken and Jeff closing in on him, and Robert right behind Jeff. So these guys are battling hard. There we see the 17 of T-Roy taking a look on the inside of Matt Watkins, who just got extremely loose there, it looked like. But Matt gathers it in and keeps going and even keeps the position. There we see the 6 of Mark DeSenza. 151 of Guy Petra, and our leader continues to be Sean Johnson in the 5 car. There he is, and there we see the 151 and the 6 in a battle for second. With Mark DeSenza wanting to get back to the front and lead some more laps. He wants to lead the most laps. He wants to get that extra bonus point. But right now, Guy looking good, keeping that second position. Mark really pressing him, though. He's pressing him. And if we go further back, we see Matt Watkins still in 4th. Battle right behind him, though, the 303 and 29 getting to be side by side here. Let's see how it works out. Ken holds them off. Nice bit of driving there by Ken Ron in the 303. Holds them off for 5th place. Matt Watkins there right ahead of him in 4th. Looking in his mirror, seeing those great battles going on. And there we see Robert Bokum as well. He's saying, don't slip up, Jeff, because I'll take that right away from you. But we see these guys are really running nose to tail here, and they've, in doing so, they've caught Matt Watkins, who had a little bit of a lead ahead of him. And now they kind of stack up behind Matt Watkins. So we'll see how this pans out. You see Jeff got a little high there, and Robert's able to take advantage. Scott Tracy looking to get inside of Jeff as well, but no doing there, no dice. Jeff slams the door and stays behind Robert Bokum now. Robert takes the position from Jeff there, so Robert moving up steadily. See now ahead of him, 303 Ken Ron trying to reel in the 15 of Matt Watkins. Robert and Ken, of course, are teammates, so see if they hook up and run together to see if they can run down Matt Watkins, who's kind of running by himself there. No one really in front of Matt Watkins to help him drafting wise. And draft does play a small part here at Kansas, but you really got to be close to a guy here to really have any effect. We see Robert Bokum now looking on the outside of his teammate Ken Ron. Don't know if that was just him just searching for a line possibly, or if Ken got bobbled a little that caused Robert to close up on him, but they sort themselves out okay, it looks like. In fact, Ken has closed down a little on Matt Watkins. Kind of a steady lead here, and then we see Robert Bokum again getting there. Looks like Robert's getting a really good run out of 4, and just closing the gap between him and Ken. And we see right behind Robert, the 42 Scott Tracy has not left these guys since they made those moves early on, and nice job there holding on to those fast cars there. And there we see the 29 of Jeff Hale. Seems to be struggling slightly here. He made a run up there with Robert. Now he sees he's in danger of going side by side there with T-Roy. And looks like T-Roy's going to take the position from him. And T-Roy gets up a little high there. Woo, T-Roy, nice job though. They figure it all out and keep going. That's what I like seeing, guys. That's what I like seeing. Scott Tracy there pressing now Robert Bokum. Robert trying now the inside of Ken Ron. Robert was on the outside of Ken Ron a couple times, and now he is looking on the inside, but Ken not having anything to do with it. It looks like these guys are having a spirited battle, but Robert gets another nice run on the inside. Ken a little high out of the preferred line, and Robert will take that position from Ken, and Scott Tracy along for the ride with Robert will also get by Ken. So Ken slipping back a little as finally we're getting a run where maybe tire wear is coming into play. Lap 67 here. We restarted just a little past 50. I think let's say 52. So we're 15 laps into a run. So finally we're starting to see maybe some tire wear. And there's going to be some comers and goers now, I think. As we go to the front, we see Mark DeSenza is our new leader, and our old leader is our new leader. And he has a nice gap ahead in front of the 151 of Guy Petra. And there we see Matt Watkins now has assumed the 3rd position as he's gotten by the 5 of Sean Johnson. So Matt Watkins continuing to make his climb toward the front. And we see the 151 of Guy Petra also closing down on the 6 of Mark DeSenza. So the top 3 there throw a blanket over to Matt Watkins at his best point of the race so far to leading laps. He ducks to the inside of Guy, and he's going to take the position right away from Guy, who's been very fast and very racy. So Matt Watkins got a good car, and he's got some good tires still underneath him, and he's making them work for him as he takes the 2nd position from Guy, and now he wants to take the 1st position away from Mark DeSenza, and he's going to do it. I don't know if he did it that lap or not. It shows dead heat at the line, but it looks like they gave the nod to Mark DeSenza. Dead heat at the line. How about that? But now Matt Watkins has gotten in front of Mark DeSenza to leave no doubt who the new leader of the race is. And let's see if they'll run him down. Matt just shot out of a cannon. He was just battling with Ken Ron and Robert Bokum and those guys, and now all of a sudden he's leading the race. It's like he has a rocket underneath that car. Now Guy challenging Mark for the second position. Right behind that battle, we see the 5 and the 42 battling for position as well. Scott Tracy having a great battle going on here. That's for the 4th and 5th position. Robert Bokum joins the crowd. 4th, 5th, 6th. And right behind Robert Bokum, that's T-Roy. So 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th right there. And there we see Sean on the high side giving up the positions to Scott and Robert. And now T-Roy. So Sean Johnson maybe feeling the effects of tire wear. Slowly has lost positions. We see the 303 and the 83 now side by side. So Steve Weber now looking to take up a position on Ken Ron, who's slowly sliding backwards, which is not where you want to go. And tire wear certainly now has got to be a factor as we hit lap 73. So I would say we've hit lap about 22 laps into this run. Not knowing what a green flag stop lap wise is going to be, I would hazard a guess and say maybe 10 more. We see Jeff Hale was also able to get around Ken Ron and Pops. There we see a battle between 17 and 18, T-Roy and Robert Bokum. Robert looking to take that position, gets to the inside. And this is where you like to pass, but T-Roy keeps the hammer down and holds him off for the time being. Robert has to get back in line, work the corner. Robert taking a beautiful line through the corner. Almost like he designed it here at Kansas. If I didn't know any better, I'd say Robert Bokum is in the race course design. But I hear him and T-Roy having a nice little battle here as Robert Bokum looking to the inside of T-Roy for the last couple of laps here, and T-Roy is holding him off and doing a great job. There we see Robert's bag is. Looks like he's backing the corner up a little, but then really getting some great run off and getting some good straightaway speed. As you can see, he gets a good run there off of 4, and as they come down to the start-finish line, you can see he's got some good speed going. But T-Roy still able to hold him off there and keep on trucking. And as I'm just doing that, it looks like we are getting some green flag stops. Sean Johnson in. Sean Johnson, our first taker on pit lane. He gets 4 tires and away he goes. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Let's see if it opens the floodgates. I would suspect it does. There we see Ken Ron. There we see our leader, Matt Watkins. He's still out on the track. Sean Johnson, our first lead lap car to go into the pits here. So our first official green flag run, green flag stop has just begun as we see the 151 of Guy Petra on pit lane. Doesn't look like anyone else. And there we see the 29 of Jeff Hale as well. Jeff, I don't know if something's going on or Jeff got a bad set of tires, but he wasn't able to make the progress that I was expecting him to make there on that green flag run. So Jeff is going to take a long drive down pit lane. There we see the 151 of Guy Petra just finishing up his service, or excuse me, getting right sides done. Now his left sides. We can see the way Jeff parked. Whoa, and Jeff almost gets a little clip there from Guy as Guy leaves pit lane. As we go back around here, there we see Jeff has completed his service and he's back out. There we see Robert Bokum now on pit lane. Robert was making steady progress to the front. Robert doing a great job. He's in though. He's got right sides getting changed, and down they go. So now they're going to come around, do left sides. Robert Bokum, 4-tire stop, full packet full of fuel. We're at lap 81 of 107. So there's still 26 laps remaining, which is about a full fuel run. So we'll see if these guys can stretch it here as Robert rejoins the fray. There we see the 6 of Mark Senza now on pit lane. Mark getting his 4 tires, number 1 pit stop from the pole position. So there goes Mark, 4 tires and fuel for Mark. T-Roy, 4 tires and fuel. There we see Matt Watkins, our leader, pitting under green flag. Matt Watkins, our leader. He's getting his tires done. Right side's going on, right side's down, left side's going on. So we'll see. Let's follow Matt Watkins out of pit lane here, folks, and we'll see if he where he joins and if he is able to run down anyone who managed to slip in front of him. There we see Matt Watkins leaving pit lane. He's accelerating again. We should start seeing some cars on the track, maybe trying to get a position from him as the green flag stops continue. And there we see that absolutely no cars have joined the fray against him. So either Matt Watkins had a tremendous pit stop, or there we see the 6 of Mark DeSenza in second. So Mark DeSenza is our first car trailing Matt Watkins. There we see the lead. So not too bad for Mark. Good job. Just a second behind, but a second and a half back behind Mark is Guy Petra. So we're starting to get spread out. The 5 of Sean Johnson, almost a half second behind that. So the field is starting to separate as green flag stops are often the culprit of. There we see Ken Ron trying to scrape his way back. He's in 5th. 18 of Robert Bokum 6th. Jeff Hale is still mired down in 8th. I don't know if Jeff is experiencing any issues, but there we see Jeff and T-Roy on the track there battling. That is the battle for the 8th position. Jeff is in 8th, T-Roy in 9th. But that all happening 9 seconds behind the leaders and 2 seconds behind 8th place car. And Matt Watkins continues to lead, but we see that Mark DeSenza has closed down that margin as we go back to the front. We see that our leaders there, Matt Watkins and Mark DeSenza. So Mark able to close that 1 second gap to about 0.6 of a second. And looks like it's even getting a little smaller. There we see the 151 of Guy Petra and the 5 of Sean Johnson trying to catch these two. Don't know if that will be possible for him, but Mark DeSenza making a great run here at Matt Watkins as the laps wind down now. We're getting to 20 to go. There we see lap 87 of 107. So 21 laps right now. Will be 20 to go as they cross the line. And Matt Watkins is our leader, but Mark DeSenza is closing down on him and looking very racy with the smooth Smooth running there he's doing. And you can see he's running a different line than Matt Watkins, and it's paying dividends for Mark as he's really closed in on Matt Watkins, and he's filling his mirror up now. And I know Matt knows he's there. You couldn't help but notice if you're the leader that Mark DeSenza's coming. And they received third and fourth there of Guy Petra and Sean Johnson, Ken Ron, Robert Bokum, Scott Tracy, Jeff Hale, and T-Roy. And there's Pops bringing up Shotgun, and Steve Webb, of course, had some damage there and went for a ride through the grass. And as we get back to the some side-by-side racing there, Robert Bokum takes the position from Ken Ron. But Robert is quite a bit ways back as we go right back to the front. And this is where the battle's going to be, it looks like, folks. The 15 and the 6 are going to decide this race, as the laps are really clicking off now as they run some really good times, I bet. As we bring it up, we see we're on lap 90 of 107, so just 17 laps remaining. There we see Ken Ron still with the fastest lap, but we can see some other guys now. Ryan Tracy also had a fast lap before the misfortune and got loose there and hit the wall. But the battle here for the lead is Matt Watkins and Mark DeSenza. And Mark is looking really good here. It looks like he can close on him at will. And he's really got on the back bumper of Matt Watkins here. Will he make the move now with 15, 16 laps remaining? Or will he ride there and pick and choose his time, saying, you know what, I'm faster than him, and then when I need to go, I'll make my move, and not give him a chance to make any kind of run back. Mark all over his bumper here as we cross the start-finish line and get into turn one. He's got the preferred line, and Mark DeSenza is around Matt Watkins, and he's back into the lead. And Mark DeSenza looking really good here. Matt Watkins, though, battling right back here, staying right on the back bumper of Mark DeSenza. As we hit lap 92. Mark DeSenza is our new leader. He's led several times during the race. He was really strong at the beginning. He was also our pole sitter. We can see he's pulled away slightly now from the 15 of Matt Watkins, who finds himself now in second place. There we see Guy Petra in third, Sean Johnson in fourth, Robert Bokum fifth. And some nice racing around here. We see Jeff Hale getting onto the inside of Scott Tracy. And let's see if Jeff can hold that line there. And Ken Ron right ahead of him. Side by side they battle as they cross the start-finish line. Still Scott's position, but Jeff now able to dive down onto the inside in turn one. And Jeff takes the position from Scott. Now T-Roy wants to join the party. And T-Roy looking to get a position on Scott. And now Jeff making a move on Ken Ron as he gets to the inside. Got a little out of shape, I think there. Got a little loose. And these four cars here are really battling hard. Nowhere near the lead, but that don't matter here at FSB. These guys are battling tooth and nail. And this is for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th positions, folks. Ken Ron has the 6th position. Jeff Hale 7th right now. But these positions are subject to change instantly. And now we see Jeff taking a look on the outside of Ken Ron. And now he dives down to the apron, trying to get that run, trying to get Ken Ron to maybe make a mistake and bobble. Now he's going to take the inside. He tried that before and got a little out of shape. This time it sticks. And the 29 of Jeff Hale takes the position away from Ken Ron. Now he's 6th. Well, Mark continues to hold off Matt. As the laps wind down. Guys have kind of found their own running spot. And looks like Mark has proven to be strong at the start and strong at the finish. As we hit inside of 10 laps, lap 98. Mark crossing the line to start lap 99 here. If Matt has anything for him, it's time to do it, Matt. But we can see it's over a half-second lead now for Mark DeCenza. And there we see a huge gap back to third place. So it's 1-2. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen by Matt Watkins taking it from Mark DeCenza. Matt looks like he might be thinking of trying to close that distance here. It was about 0.6 of a second. Now we can see it's down to 0.4. So Matt maybe cooling those tires for one last run at Mark. We can see the healthy gap back from Matt Watkins to third. So this will be it here. There's your top two. Laps winding down. Matt Watkins now has really cut into that lead. It went from 0.6 to just a tenth or so now. As we see, he's cut it down big time, and they've separated away by 5 seconds. So Matt Watkins is going to make one more run at it, it looks like, here on Mark DeCenza. And let's see how Mark handles it. This is going to be a very interesting moment here. Team Bochum, Team Monsoon battling for team dominance in Pro Cup, and also battling on the track for the winner of this race. And Mark, I know, wants it. I know Matt, yes, Matt's won a lot of races this season, but as you can see, he's not giving Mark a free pass by any means. He's looking high now as he entered that turn a little higher than normal, but now that's going to allow him to get underneath Mark as they head to the start-finish line. Mark still has the lead, but Matt Watkins on the inside of him now. As we hit lap 103, they're side by side. Can Mark hold the outside and keep up his momentum as Matt gets to the inside of him now? And Matt looking to take the lead, but Mark's battling back on the outside still. But Matt Watkins able to get in front of him, gets up in front of Mark, and takes the turn as the new leader. We're going to start lap 104 here with Matt Watkins now as your new leader. Mark DeCenza second. Does Mark have now one last run back at Matt? Mark really up high, right up against the wall. He's using every piece of this track to try to get speed and catch back up to Matt Watkins. Matt holding him off so far, just a couple tenths of a lead though. Mark DeCenza still keeping right on him, keeping in his draft. We hit lap 105 of lap 107s. 3 laps remaining. Matt Watkins is still your leader. Mark DeCenza not going anywhere though. And there is no third place car anymore. You can see these guys are just having their own race within this race. Can Mark get up to him? Can Matt hold him off? We're going to find out in about 2 more laps, folks. 2 more laps. You can see that wide margin that they're enjoying as the first and second place cars. And you can see that the gap between the first and second there has been pretty steady. Matt Watkins doing a great job holding them off. We'll see if Mark has one last gasp here as they take the white flag. White flag lap here. Mark DeCenza in second. Matt Watkins in first. Does he got anything for him? There we see Matt. There we see Mark. Getting down the backstretch one more time. Mark gets in, gets down low, tries to power off, but he can't do it. He got a little squirrely, in fact, and lost ground, and that means Matt Watkins will take the win at Kansas. Matt Watkins going from back to front to take the victory with a spirited battle with Mark DeSenza there at the end. And Mark will be disappointed in his second place finish, but nonetheless a great finish by Mark DeSenza. Third place, Guy Petra. Fourth place, I believe, Robert Bokum. Fifth place, great run by Scott Tracy in fifth. Top five, Scott Tracy. Nice job. Jeff Hale managed, after leading and spinning, Jeff just wasn't the same. But he was back in 8th, 9th, and kind of not going anywhere, but he battled back and gathered it back in toward the end there and brought it home in 6th. So nice job by Jeff. Keeping the battle going, and unfortunately, the 5 car, Sean Johnson, faded. Sean also led laps a little early on in the race, and he faded down to 7th. 17 to T. Roy 8th, and 83 to Steve Weber, overcoming a spin, or not a spin, but a contact with Robert Bokum, and in the Ryan Tracy spin. Steve got knocked and slid through the grass, gathered it back up, and brought it home top 10. Nice job, Webb. And rounding out the top 10, just a steady race. Unspectacular, possibly, but Pops Marguson brings it home with a top 10 finish. He really wasn't on our radar a lot tonight, but a steady race by Pops. And lead lap finish, 10th place. Good job, Pops. Last car on the lead lap, but he did what he needed to do. That's how you get top 10s. You take what the track gives you. And Ken Ron unfortunately faded there at the end and finished 11th, one lap down. And then we had some retirees. The 22 of Ryan Tracy, of course. 16 of Dan Francisconi retired. TG blew up an engine after some damage in the spin. And, of course, Derby, with some bad luck and 2 early spins for Derby, ended his night way back, it seems like now. But our winner is our winner chicken dinner for Matt Watkins. Mark DeSenza second. So another great run here on Pro Cup. And as we bring back the standings, I can also now bring up the schedule. And as I do that, we see that there is only one race remaining, and that is Charlotte 2011. So we will be crowning Matt Watkins with that win. Matt Watkins is your Pro Cup champion for this season. So congratulations, Matt Watkins. Well earned. Ton of wins. So this is the spring 2014 season. Matt Watkins is your champion. But there is one race left, Charlotte 2011. Let's see if Derby can bounce back, and still hope to see the guys out there for that final race. And maybe we get a quick update on the points here so we can make it official. But just a great run by Matt Watkins yet again, and he shows you why he's the best. And it looks like the points are updated, so I appreciate that. And there we see Matt Watkins is your winner. He's 39 points ahead, and by starting the race, he's basically will clinch. Of course, we're not going to have that many cars that you could make up 39 points in one race. So Matt Watkins will be your winner and champion of the 2014 Spring Pro Cup season. Congratulations, Matt Watkins. Robert Bokum is second, and I believe he will stay second with a 10-point lead over Guy Petra. Derby tumbled to fourth, only lost one position in the standings, but he went from 1 point ahead of Guy to now 11 points, or excuse me, 12 points behind, and now he's in a battle with dogfight with Mark DeCenza with a solid second place finish. Mark has moved up to fifth, and just even with Derby Don, and now as I said, 12 points behind Guy Petra for third. So Mark still with something to race for, and Steve Webb just 7 points behind them. So the fourth, fifth, and sixth still tight battle, and on through the rest of the guys. TG 6 point lead over Pops for best of the rest as well. So we'll see how that hashes out at Charlotte next week, and that ends our Pro Cup season, and we'll be very close to putting a wrap on the entire season for the league. Looking forward to some great off-season spectaculars. In June, the Indy 500. Yes, the Indy 500. The whole 500. Not 20 laps, 50 laps. Indy 500. 200 laps will be held in June, as will the 2.4 hours of Le Mans, which is a daunting task. With a huge, long, 8.5-mile long track, 200-mile-an-hour straightaways, chicanes, crazy. And some of these guys here are awesome drivers, and we're looking forward to a nice-sized field. We don't think that there'll be a nice-sized field finishing, maybe, but we look forward to hoping to get a lot of participation from these specials. And, of course, all the regular off-season festivities as well. Rookie Cup shootout, Sportsman Cup shootout, Pro Cup shootout, King of the Hill, Demo Derby as well. So we think we know a driver that may have an advantage there in our own Derby Don. But there will be a Demo Derby off-season event. And along with another truck event, which I'm intrigued over, that is still a mystery. So stay tuned. But again, Matt Watkins is your winner here at Kansas, and he has clinched our Pro Cup season title. So congratulations, Matt Watkins, again, and look forward to our next event there on Friday for the Aero 88 series, and hopefully my partner in crime back, Milt Mintner. Shout out to Milty as we end the broadcast here. Milty up with the folks, helping them fix up a house there. So I appreciate you being the good son there, Milty, and look forward to gathering back up with you on Friday. So FSBRacing.com. Go check out the website, please. Sign on up. It's getting toward our off season, so maybe not a bad time to sign up. You can do some practicing during the off season, get everything worked out with a wheel and all the files that you need, and then come then July, and toward the end of July, boom, you're ready to start a race one and run for some championships and some wins. So come on down, FSBRacing.com, and check us out. And thank you again for watching, and look forward again to the next broadcast.